Hi, in version 2.5 of Honkai Star Rail, there'll be a whole new banner system coming to the game. Alongside the usual 2 new 5 stars we'll be getting, there will be a whopping 4 reruns this time. In the first half, we'll be getting Fei Xiao, with a Robin, Black Swan, and Kafka rerun. No, you heard me right, there will be 3 reruns in the first half. And in the second half, we'll be getting Lingsha with a Topaz rerun. Every unit coming in this patch seems to be really strong, with some of the older units even considered to be the best in its class. So here's a quick video going through their pros and cons and who should pull for them. Before we start, I'll be giving away a supply pass / welcome / crystal card to my subscribers at 6k subs, so make sure you subscribe to enter. Starting off, I want to quickly mention that the banners in this video are subject to change, as nothing is officially confirmed yet. And as for how the new banners work, supposedly it works by choosing which rate up you want while keeping the pity. So the chances for the 5 stars are the same, thankfully, but you just have to get it one at a time. Hi, this is Future Rain. Apparently the self-select banners will be 3 weeks instead of being 1 half. I don't know what exactly is happening, so make of that what you will. And of course, make sure you pull for your waifus and hospitals over meta. You will never enjoy a character if you don't like the gameplay or their visuals. But with all that being said, beginning in the first half, we have Fei Xiao. If you don't know what she does, I have a guide link in the description, but in a nutshell, Fei Xiao is a wind hunt DPS who attacks really often due to her ultimate and photo up attacks. Her talent makes her ultimate cost points instead of energy and launches a photo up attack whenever an ally attacks. Her ultimate enters a state which gives the option of 2 attacks with bonuses depending on weakness broken state for 6 times. And finally, her skill does damage and launches her talent's follow-up attack. She is a very strong unit, and some may call her the Akron of single target, which is partially true for both damage-wise and kit-wise, as she does do a lot of damage, while also having a very similar point system for her ultimate, in addition to also having a very good synergy with other follow-up attack focused units. So, if you're looking for a single target DPS in either MOC or a Pocket of the Shadow, Fei Xiao will be a great addition to your account. And if you have really strong follow-up attack supports like Adventuring, Robin, etc., and look to further improve those teams, Fei Xiao is a very good choice for you as well. But that being said, people that already have multiple strong DPSs like Akron or Firefly and especially Buhyo can look to skip her. Moving on to the reruns of the first half, beginning with Robin. Robin is a physical harmony support that becomes stronger the more often your characters attack. Her skill increases damage dealt for all allies, her talent increases ally crit damage and regains energy, and her ultimate enters a state, disabling herself, deals additional damage per attack, and advancing all allies forward while increasing attack for them as well. Robin is an insanely strong support for teams that attack really often, whether it be fast characters or just straight up follow-up attacks. So if you haven't already noticed, she's the premier support for follow-up attack teams and the premier support for Fei Xiao, perfectly in place for her release. So people who are looking to further improve their follow-up attack teams, Robin will be a great option for you as well. Otherwise, people who are just looking for a generalist support can grab her too, as long as you utilize her kit fully. But if you're not planning to use a follow-up attack team or have Ron Mei as a generalist buffer, you can look to skip her instead. Next up is Kafka. Kafka is a lightning nihility DOT enabler who can activate DOT on demand. Her skill does blast damage and activates any DOT. Her ultimate does AoE damage and applies shock while also proccing shock. And her talent launches a follow-up attack whenever an ally basic attacks, which also applies shock. Kafka is the backbone of all things DOT. DOT by nature is not a damage style that can clear things quickly as it relies on the enemy's turns, but thanks to Kafka, that is not an issue anymore. She is an insanely strong character that carries a whole archetype on her back, and that means she is also very future-proof, alongside being one half of one of the best teams in the game. So, people who have other DOT units and are looking to improve the DOT teams, Kafka is the best move you can make. And those looking for a whole new team, you can basically build one of the best ones from this patch alone with Kafka plus Black Swan. But that being said, if you're not looking to build DOT teams, then skipping her is recommended. Her pull value is really that simple, you either want DOT or not. For the last rerun in the first half, we have Black Swan. Black Swan is a wind nihility DOT sub DPS that has her own special DOT. Her talent is a special type of DOT called Arcana, which does more damage the higher the count. Her skill hits blast, reduces their defense, and applies Arcana. And her ultimate increases damage taken during their turn and causes Arcana to not reset when it is activated. Black Swan is by far the best pure DOT unit in the game. Her damage alone is already really insane, especially if you can stack her Arcana up really high. But together with Kafka, they become, as I said, one of the best teams in the game, capable of hard forcing any content in most cases. So, for people who have Kafka or are pulling for Kafka as well, Black Swan will be an invaluable unit to her. Otherwise, people looking for another nihility for Acheron, especially in Pure Fiction, will enjoy Black Swan as well. But if you're not looking to use DOT teams and not looking to use her debuffs in any shape or form, then skipping her is recommended. Now for the second half, starting with the new character Lingsha. Lingsha is a fire harmony healer that spawns entity and skills of break effect to heal and deal damage. Her talent summons Fu Yuan with her skill, which heals and attacks the enemies. Her skill does damage in AoE and heals all allies, and her ultimate increases damage taken from break damage for all enemies while dealing damage and restoring HP and advancing Fu Yuan forward. Lingsha is an extremely potent healer that fits more in a sub DPS role, especially in a break team. She also has extremely strong and consistent heals due to having it on her skill, talent, and ultimate. But just like all the recent limited sustains, she additionally brings an absolutely insane summon that does a lot of damage as well. So, people who are looking for a limited sustain in general, Lingsha will be a top option. People looking to improve their break teams and or don't have Galagear with high eidolons can look to get Lingsha as well. And even in general, those that want to slightly increase their speed with their clears can look to get her as well. But that being said, if you have and are happy with your Galagear, especially with him at high eidolons, then skipping her is recommended. And those that already have multiple limited sustains and or not planning to play break teams can save your Jades instead as well. And finally, for the last banner of this patch, a rerun of Topaz and Numbi. Topaz is a fire hunt sub DPS that focuses on dealing damage with and buffing photo up attacks. Her skill does single target damage and applies Proof of Depth, which increases photo up attack damage taken. Her talent summons Numbi, which gets action forwarded whenever anyone uses a photo up attack on a Proof of Depth enemy, and her ultimate is just a huge steroid for Numbi. Topaz in a vacuum is a bit underwhelming, but alongside many of the units, especially newer ones, she becomes an extremely strong unit that provides meaningful damage and a great debuff for your team as well. Not to mention the frequency of her attack in a photo up attack team is really high, so damage and toughness damage is also pretty high as well. So those that are looking to improve the photo up attack teams, especially in MLC or AP, can look to grab a Topaz. Otherwise, you can look elsewhere instead, as that is where she shines the most and is really only where she is worth it to pull for.